Hey guys, this is Matt Brunet, creator of Animation Lookback and AniMat's Reviews, and it's time once again that we enter upon another big and beautiful round of updates in this little video right over here. Now, before I go ahead and get things started, I just want to go ahead and make a little clarification on this update vlog in particular, that I don't have any huge updates to go and tell you guys. I don't have any big changes planned for any future videos for Animation Lookback and AniMat's Reviews or any of my current shows. And also, I don't have any huge announcements regarding any new shows or anything like that. What this update vlog serves is mostly just going to be a clarification on what's been happening so far, and maybe some little changes that will be happening in the future in order to go and improve upon this channel right over here. So with all that said, allow me to go and give you guys a little bit of a heads up of what has happened since I actually released the last update vlog. Well, so far, I would say the biggest thing that did happen was that the most anticipated stuff regarding my videos and my works has finally happened, where Animation Lookback Cartoon Network finally made its debut, and I am more than happy to say that it has been getting a lot of praise and everybody has been enjoying it so far. And honestly, I just cannot wait for you guys to go and see the future videos, because honestly, this thing has only been started. Like, so far, if you love the first part, then hopefully the upcoming parts that will be coming up in the future, they will be as awesome. So all you have to do is just stay tuned for that. And also, I am more than happy to say that I have officially started my gaming channel, which is AniMat Plays. Now, the format that I have worked on with AniMat Plays is that these are videos, well, not necessarily videos, they're actually live streams where I just go ahead and get to play some video games while I also interact with the comments section, where we can have a little bit of a chat, and also I can answer a few questions. Now, I'm not gonna go and answer like small insignificant questions like, oh, will you review this, or will you play that? You know, those are not questions, those are requests. I don't care about those. But the thing is with this is that like, it gives me a chance to interact with you guys while also playing some video games at the same time. Now, these are actually live, and they are live in 3 different platforms where you can check me out on YouTube, on the channel AniMat Plays. There is a channel for that. Links are down below. All the links will be down below, by the way. There is also a Twitch channel that you could check out. And on top of that, you can also see them on Facebook. So all 3 of them at the same time, you can go and watch me play video games. And they all happen at the same time, and I put my schedule that I would be live streaming them every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So every Tuesday at that time, normally that's when I'm gonna go and play some games and just have a little chat with you guys. That's mainly the big idea. And I just want to say, though, regarding AniMat Plays, is that at the start, it is a little bit complicated. I had to go and experiment with a few things to see what would work and what would not work. Sadly, due to the power of the computer that I have for AniMat Plays, it's not necessarily strong enough to actually do everything that I want to do. So unfortunately, I do have to sacrifice making a face cam at the same time. Maybe I'll improve upon it when eventually down the road in the future I could probably go and get a stronger PC so that I could also play some PC games at the same time, and also get a really strong computer that would allow me to do not only face cam but also simultaneously play some games. So like, it would fully have the power to do like Let's Plays the way that I would ultimately want. But that's just going to be in the future, and I'm still happy with at least the format that I have right now. And don't you guys worry if you ended up missing any of the live streams that have been happening. Like, if you couldn't make it on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, then don't worry. On the YouTube channel, It's all been recorded, and you can pretty much check out the archives right over there. In fact, I already have a variety that's been going on. Like, I've played a few Nintendo games, I've played a few Disney games, and some other stuff in between as well. So, if you guys want to go and check out the AniMat Plays channel, like I said before, all the links are down below. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can follow the Twitter page, and you can also like the Facebook page, just to have a wide option of where you can find me playing video games in general. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you guys is actually regarding Animation Lookback Cartoon Network. And like I said before, things have been going great with it so far. People have been loving it. The first part definitely was a major hit. But there is one thing that I do want to make a clarification that I'm just a little bit worried that it caused a little bit of confusion, or people would feel a little bit misinformed with what's going on with it. Now, the thing is that if you have either seen the intro of the first part of Animation Lookback Cartoon Network, or the trailer, which they're basically the same thing really, you may have noticed that near the end of that part, you'll see that a series of titles would keep popping up by the beat of Cartoon Fridays, Cartoon Fridays. And what I'm worried about with that is that there are some people who would misinterpret that, they would misinterpret it as this is going to be the list that I will be talking about in Animation Lookback Cartoon Network. Like, these are going to be the shows I will be discussing in there. And honestly, I just want to make a bit of a clarification by saying, no, they are not. Like, that's just a part of the intro, and that's it, you know? That's just there to, you know, really spice up the intro, to highlight some of the TV shows that are on Cartoon Network. It does not necessarily mean that I will make a segment on each of those shows that I would be talking about. Like, it's not like I'm going to be talking about this, and then I'm going to be talking about that, I'm going to be talking about that, and then I'm going to be talking about that. Like, that's actually not the case. And part 1 itself should be a big example of that, considering that I would talk about Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which that was actually not involved with that intro right over there, and I didn't talk about the What a Cartoon shows individually. Like, I know I would pop up shows like Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, the Powerpuff Girls, and more. But instead of, like, talking about each of them individually like I did in Animation Lookback Hanna-Barbera, I would just put them all in one big clump with What a Cartoon. Now, it is a guarantee that I will be mentioning all of the shows in that little intro there, but they're not going to have their own individual segment. I just want to put that clarification out there so that there wouldn't be any confusion when someone's going to come in and say, oh, why didn't you talk about Sheep in the Big City? Or why didn't you talk about Mike Lewinog? Or why didn't you talk about whatever happened to Robot Jones? Like, it's right over there, why didn't you talk about them? I just want to make a clarification that the intro is just a part of the intro and nothing more. It does not necessarily reflect upon what I will be talking about in the future of Animation Lookback Cartoon Network. It's a little bit like at the end of the annual top 5 best and worst animated films of that year. You know, when I would do that little summary of what's going to be coming up for the following year, it doesn't mean I'm going to be talking about all those movies and make a review out of them. Like, it's just a little bit of a highlight of what could be to come. So, hopefully, this will avoid any sort of confusion, and you guys can still highly enjoy Animation Lookback Cartoon Network in the future. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk to you guys is actually going to be regarding my sideshows. And what I mean by my sideshows is basically not the main ones. The ones that are not Animation Lookback or AniMat's reviews. You know, stuff like AniMat Watches, or The Art of AniMat, or the Editorials, and stuff like that. Those other shows that I would sometimes make on the side. And I realized that throughout the summer, and for a while, actually, for most of this year, I noticed that I haven't really gotten into a lot of those shows, and I've mainly focused on a lot of the main shows, especially with AniMat's reviews. And it wasn't until just recently I had a bit of that realization that there isn't that much of a variety on my channel. And the big reason for that would actually be due to my scheduling and also the AniMat's Classic reviews. Since I have been getting a lot of Patreon requests, I have pretty much made this ideal plan to go and do 2 reviews a month, basically, where one is going to be a Patreon request, and the one that I would pick out from the animation hat. That way, both sides would be happy, like the people on Patreon and the people who just casually watch my videos who are not on Patreon. So at least that way, everybody's going to be happy. But considering that I would do 1 video a week, like every Friday, if you don't count the podcast highlights, it really does fill up the schedule very quickly, especially on top of other reviews, like the main reviews that would be regarding animated films released in theaters, and also some of the bigger projects like the top 10 Blu-rays that I've planned for this summer, and also for Animation Lookback Cartoon Network. You know, it fills up quite easily, and I just noticed, like, it is very rare, or I have barely even touched upon some of my other shows, like AniMat Watches, or The Art of AniMat, or even an editorial. It's been quite a while since I've done those. And honestly, the main reason why I'm talking about this now is just because I'm a little bit too worried that my channel would just seem like a one-trick pony. Like, it would only offer just one thing again and again and again. And I don't want to go and fall into that trap. I want to give my channel some variety. So basically, what I'm doing is that I'll try my best to actually go and be more serious with offering more of those sideshows, you know. Do my best to think about good ideas in order to go and actually do an Art of AniMat or an AniMat Watches or an editorial. If I can think up of a great idea, then I'll be more serious to go ahead and actually do those instead of just putting my focus on working on Animation Lookback or just continuously making these reviews. You know, I love doing the reviews. They have been great, and I especially love doing Animation Lookback, but I just don't want to just offer those in my channel. I want to offer a little bit more on the side as well. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a struggle, but I just don't want to fall into that trap where I would just be known as a one-trick pony. So I will do my best, and I will guarantee you in the future, I'll start by doing more AniMat Watches, and maybe down the road I'll also do more editorials and also more Art of AniMats. We'll just see how it goes, but I'm not going to rush it. It's more when I can think up of a great idea for them, then I'll go ahead and be more serious to go and pursue them. And that's pretty much going to be it for that one. And there is one more little update that I would like to make, and this is something that I have already announced, but I just want to go and clarify it right here as well. And this is going to be regarding what's in the box. Now, lately, I have been getting a lot of letters and on top a lot of packages as well, but often I would actually find myself feeling a little bit more tired after filming all those, like, just doing all the what's in the boxes, like, right afterwards. You know, I would feel completely exhausted considering that it would require a lot of reading and just going through, like, all the different stuff, because there are a lot of people out there, like, they can write me their life stories or just updating me on what's up, and they can fill up pages and pages, but especially they would end up asking me a lot of questions. And that could be probably the most tiring part, is just like answering all the different questions, what they would have. There are some that would seem like interesting questions, and other ones that they can feel a little bit small, or they're not even questions, they're just little requests. So the thing is that I ultimately decided to go and try to limit those questions, something to save me more time and to help maintain my energy whenever I would read any sort of letters that are offered to me in What's in the Box, and also to save your time when watching What's in the Box, where I'm only going to be limiting to answer 2 questions per letter. Now, if the case may be that you guys would actually go and end up giving me more questions to go and read, then I'm gonna go and pick the 2. But yeah, honestly, for the sake of everyone, I'm just gonna go ahead and only answer 2 questions per letter that you guys would offer me, so that way it'll be much easier for me, and hopefully it'll be much easier for you guys to go and watch these What's in the Boxes. But anyways, that's pretty much going to be it with the updates. Like I said before, nothing too big. It's just some small clarifications on what's been going on with the current videos. And on top of that, just a little bit of an update just to hopefully improve upon the variety on my channel. So, with all that done, let's go right ahead onto the Q&A. Now, for those of you who don't know, at the end of my update vlog, what I do is that I would go ahead and answer 5 questions that you guys would ask me, whether it be on social media and on YouTube, and hopefully your question will be answered right over here. And if not, well then, better luck next time on the next update vlog. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But anyways, let's go ahead and just get things started right over here. And our first one is going to be from LJ Skipper. Yeah, LJ Skipper. And LJ asked, is there any chance that you'll be covering obscure animated shows? Well, to be honest, the only way that I would is going to be through Patreon. I mean, the main thing on my channel is regarding animated features. I'm not the same kind of channel as you would find in like Rebel Taxi or anything like that, or like Valsky Bum 94. This is just, or Valsky Bum, sorry, Valsky Bum 94, I think that's how you say it. So yeah, like this one is mainly centered upon animated features. So rather if I would do obscure animated series, that'll mostly depend on Patreon, but based on my own free will, I don't think I would. But I have already done animated series before. Like, I have reviewed some animes like Holic and Death Note and Spectacular Spider-Man. So, honestly, it'll just depend on what Patreon would offer. So, yeah. Anyways, let's go right ahead onto the next question that we have. And this one shall be from Lupus Vladimir, and apparently Lupus, oh boy, there's a lot that Lupus wrote, so let me read this right over here. While I'm sure requests like this would require a Patreon payment of a moderate or high caliber, in light of the recent D23 announcement and the changes being made at Walt Disney World in the past year, say 2012, back when I went for the first time before the Fantasyland expansion, have you ever thought doing an animation look back or a documentary-like series on the history of Disneyland or Disney World? Honestly, yes, I have certainly thought about that, and that would actually be something that I would love to do in the future, to do like an animation look back Disney parks or something like that. But honestly, the idea that I have is actually pretty ambitious. And, like, what I would like to do for animation look back Disney parks would be that I would actually film at the Disney parks in itself. Like, I would actually be there at Disneyland in California or Walt Disney World in Florida. Like, that would actually be awesome. But other than that, like, that's just gonna be a crazy idea in the future. But honestly, I would be more than happy to do something like Animation Lookback Disney Parks, but let's see what happens. But for now, I'll just maintain with the animated features and the animated series with Animation Lookback. But yeah, that's definitely a cool idea right over there that I would be interested to get into. So we'll see how it goes right over there. Alright, so with that said, let's move on to our next question that we have. Let's see, and this one is going to be coming from Cure Hannah, and Cure Hannah said, have you played or heard of Bendy and the Ink Machine, and if so, what are your thoughts on the game as a horror-themed homage to the classic black and white era of animation? Honestly, that is actually really cool. I've seen Bendy and the Ink Machine. Personally, I have not played it myself, but I have certainly seen a lot of Let's Players actually going into it, especially Markiplier, and it really does look awesome. The best way to describe it is that it's a little bit of a combination of BioShock, and you do get some Epic Mickey considering the huge theme of ink. And honestly, it definitely looks a lot of fun. They really nailed the atmosphere, and you know, it does feel like you're transported into another world where it's centered on cartoons and the supernatural, which is really fantastic. And on top of that, before anyone else would ask, yes, I have also seen footage of Cuphead, and that game looks absolutely phenomenal. And one day, I certainly do hope that I would play it. Like, I can guarantee you that if I have access to it, I will certainly play it in AniMat Plays in the future. But the funny thing with it is that with Cuphead and with... yeah, the funny thing with Cuphead is that even though I can't play it right now, I would be more than happy if I would actually get, like, a production piece of Cuphead. Like, if I can get some kind of drawing that came from it, because it definitely looks phenomenal and a wonderful homage to the classic Fleischer-style cartoons of the 30s and the 40s. So yeah, definitely I've heard of Bendy and the Ink Machine, and I've seen Cuphead, and they both look absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, I cannot wait to play them. Alright, so anyways, let's move on to our next question. Is that my second or my third? I don't know. I'll double check after this one right over here, which this one is going to be coming from Lightyear Pig 12, and Pig stated, speaking of AL, is Animation Lookback Walt Disney Animation Studios Plus still on the brain? I would say yes. I am still thinking about it, and honestly, the more that I actually do think about Animation Lookback Disney Plus, the more that I realize I think I know when it's going to happen. You know, honestly, I am planning things out in my head on the possibility of when is it going to happen in the future. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to happen in the distant future, but I do have ideas on when it's going to be going down. When is it the best time that I can actually go and tackle upon Disney? Like, that's going to be a very interesting subject right over there and getting back into it. But I think I know when it's going to happen. I'm not going to say just yet, but I think I'm being... I feel like the more I think about it, the more serious I'm going to be, and the more that I feel like there will be a day that it will exist. So just stay tuned for that, is all I'm going to say. Now, before anything, I just want to go and double check how many questions have I answered so far. And yes, okay, there's 4 of them. So there's going to be just one more that I will answer. So let's see what happens. Let's make this one count. And this one is going to be coming from Levi Slayton. Let's see here. Oh, it's from... Oh no, this isn't from Levy, it's from Blank Slate. Okay, so Blank Slate asks, I have a question right over here. How come you didn't include the animatronics versions of Goofy, Donald, and Daisy? Sure, in the first game they were mostly for side quests, but it affected how the game ended. And in the second game, animatronic Goofy helped in progressing the beginning of the game, and animatronic Daisy tried to help near the end. If you can, could you do an Epic Mickey Files on the animatronic versions of the Mickey friends? Well, honestly, the thing is with animatronic Goofy, Daisy, and Donald is that they're not necessarily the legitimate characters like you have seen in the cartoons. Like, this isn't actually Goofy, Donald, and Daisy. They're just animatronic versions of them created by Oswald so that he wants to have the life that Mickey had. So the Mad Doctor would help them out and go create them so that Oswald can emulate Mickey's life so that he would seem like he's the popular one right over there. So the thing is that I'm not sure if making like an making like a special Epic Mickey Files episode for them specifically would work out. Mainly because the animatronic versions of them, there isn't really much to say. And also, like, it doesn't necessarily count talking about the actual characters like Goofy, Donald, and Daisy, because those are really popular characters. And part of the reason why I made the Epic Mickey Files is to pretty much highlight the obscure Disney characters that appeared in there. Like, it makes more sense talking about, like, the Gremlins, or Pete, or the Lonesome Ghost, like, to go into those characters right over there, or even, like, Captain Smee, or, not Captain Smee, I mean, or to talk about characters like Smee. So, it makes more sense to get into those characters instead of really getting into, like, Goofy, Donald, and Daisy. And I mean, if I am going to talk about those characters, then it would make sense if I would just do a separate thing where I would talk about the popular Disney characters like Donald, Goofy, Mickey, Pluto, Minnie, and all those guys right over there. So that's kind of the point of the Epic Mickey Files, is to highlight the more obscure Disney characters than actually to talk about the popular characters like, well, Goofy, Donald, and Daisy. But anyways, that is pretty much going to be it for this update, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to follow me on my social media on Facebook and on Twitter, and on top of that, I also have the new AniMat Plays, so you can go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel, or you can also follow the Twitch page. And not only that, but also if you guys would like to if you guys would like to support my work and get some awesome rewards at the same time, then all you have to do is go to patreon.com/animat. And once again, I would just like to thank everybody for your amazing support. And tune in for more great videos to come, especially with Animation Lookback Cartoon Network. There will be more parts coming your way. And with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.